I mean, can you imagine Uptown Funk? You remember Uptown Funk?
Yeah.
Okay, let's give you the history of the Uptown Funk. You get it there. Read it. It's Uptown Funk, which was engineered by Lawrence Mitchell. That means Willie Mitchell's son. In 2014, topped the charts in 19 countries, including the US and the UK. Hold on a minute. Hold on tight.
Go on.
It did 11 plus platinum. That means it sold 11 million copies.
Okay.
And 5 times platinum in the UK and 18 times platinum in Australia. Wins the Grammy Award Record of the Year in 2016 at the 58th Grammy Award ceremony.
Affinity Extra. Be extra.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily represent the views of Affinity Extra.
Okay, let me just unmute my guest. Brother Kevin, let's do a check. 1 2 1 2. Let's see if you're here.
1 2 1 2, bro.
Oh, you're crystal clear, my brother.
Yeah.
You're crystal clear.
Sonic clarity.
Yeah, I love them word there still anyway, yeah. But listen, guys, we're here on Affinity Extra. We're here to celebrate gospel music of black origin. We also have a series done by, I have to call him my mentor, got no choice, but whatever, that's still, yeah, he probably wouldn't even assume that task, but tough luck, he's my historian mentor. It's fantastic to have a actual black man representing black history, music. I'm not saying nobody else can do it, but too often we see, I've been taught about black history from non-black people. It's great to see to be somebody who is actually academically and actually is passionate about the art form. Nothing against anybody else who studies reggae and are not black. Do your thing, taught the history, but I just love working with my people, and Kevin Tomlin is a great person like that. But also a part of my developing of my knowledge of the music industry is read for the UK gospel. I have to understand successful models, and I'm afraid we always look at the successful models for white music, but the reality show is if you look at black music that has had the struggle that we're having in the UK in black music, and let's not deny it, there is a similar struggle. We have to realize that the structures that they've put in place from 20-30 years ago, some of the things are done past long time, but we haven't yet put them to place. We don't yet have a thriving black owned record company in the UK. Kevin, imagine that. Imagine
when you say black owned, okay, let's just define that. If you're talking about a successful R&B and soul label, I would agree with you, because we have gospel labels, but they're not mega hitting. Zoom and so on are not mega hitting. When I say mega hitting, we're talking about platinum, double platinum, gold, and so forth. Which black gospel labels have done that
in the US.
Gospel labels, they've got black-owned gospel labels since 1976. Still around and quite sizable, and creating some interesting stir. However, here we're still in our infancy. Yes, we've had several people who have been involved in the music industry for a long time, but they don't have the level of ownership. When you call mega ownership, where you're transferring body of work, body of work and sonic body of work from one generation to the other. The individuals we're going to talk about, the late father is transferred to the son, and the son recently is getting Grammy Awards for what?
Okay.
Studio, and it's family owned.
And this is the thing is now talking about families. I'm doing a lot of as Kevin would know. He's part of my. So we're not just looking at black music. In the background, we are doing a study in the UK music. Kevin's doing his personal study towards his book. I know he's gonna have a great time coming up to Birmingham and looking at all the interviews that I've done and looking at the rich history of West Midlands gospel.
That's absolutely brilliant.
one of the crazy.
Fantastic.
I give people a crazy story. One of the musicians who retired very young from, not retired, but stopped professionally sessioning very young, in his 20s. But he, stories of going to America, and he said that, listen, I was chilling with likes of Ron Winans, for 3 weeks. And when they were working on their album, All Out, or I think it's All Out is called or something, yeah. They were working with the likes of Teddy Riley. One of the late artists, and I think that concept
that
was
the likes of Teddy Riley. That was on the Quest label.
And the thing is, bro, you know what's scary is that we were so sensitive to working with top producers, top secular producers in the gospel world, that we held ourselves back. That we thought that only working with Christian only, Holy Ghost filled, to get the anointing. But the reality show is, Winan said, boy, brethren, yo, this guy's hot. Young people want him. I want him making them beats. And when he's doing things like, time and make that change. We are the people. We can do it.
It was a gold record.
Yo!
Jack's thing.
Yo! Jeez.
I know. Teddy Riley, the mighty Teddy Riley.
Bro, listen, sorry. We do not want to take it down to Teddy Riley, because I'm sure Kevin's got a few stories about Gaia and all these guys
Riley,
and Black Street.
That's another story.
Sorry,
Riley's
we're getting ourselves in trouble.
Story,
we need to get ourselves in trouble here, bro. We get, where we digress into.
Well, that is good, you see, because we're talking about this brother Willie Mitchell and his son impact Teddy Riley, because remember. When Willie Mitchell was the kingpin during the 70s and the 60s, remember, we need to understand this very clearly. He produced about 30 odd million copies in albums and singles for Al Green alone. But you know how much is that in terms of money?
And these guys now, and I would say my era of guys when I was coming up, they did a lot of looking at old soul tracks. Well, they called it old back then. They're looking at Al Green music. Al Green had a look a bit more Al Green hits, yeah? And I have to say, when you're thinking, Al Green? Who the heck is Al Green? And when you look at his top hits, bro, and you're thinking, hold on a second, that Al Green, he produced inspirational let's get together, or
Let's Get Together.
That is such an inspirational track. It's
together.
Not just
Still in love with you, still in love with you.
Listen, these tracks.
Here I am, baby, take me in your arms. I mean, if you hear the groove on that one, boom, the bass line and the drums, boom.
He was the next thing, man.
Look.
Go
okay,
on.
let me you get me started. The sound that was coming out of the Royal Studio, as it was known, was robust and resilient. I mean, it was a powerhouse. He's the first artist, as far as I know, to have 8 gold singles in one decade. 8 gold singles, 1 million copy each.
And that's when million was a million, bro, because that was not no download. That was no download Spotify.
When you do 1 million copies and you put the money on it, it could be valued, each single today with the sort. If you look at the dollar depreciation, with inflation, talk about probably $10 million, $10 to $20 million in today, one single generated. Yeah. Well, if you look at it in today's money, because obviously you got to look at $1. Can't get too far back then. But $1 is like $1 now has the power of what 20 cents or maybe less.
Yeah.
Especially with the cost of
living going
petroleum or gasoline in America, they call it, and we call it petrol here. Not really a lot of buying power, is it not? Compared to when a Al Green and a Teddy Prendergast was doing a gold and a platinum album, right? If you look at it, that was serious money those days,
Oh yeah.
Artists to do platinum album. I mean, Al Green has the same amount of albums run as Teddy Prendergast, but the only difference with Al Green, he had several. He outperformed Teddy in terms of single. This guy has 8 gold singles, and not only that, you think about the near platinum, near gold million seller singles, the near ones, like, you know, Take Me to the River, you know,
so you got
Love and Happiness. These are some significant movements.
So, and the thing is, I do feel there, you know, in all our conversations about history of black music, the excellence is a crucial element of it. If they could reach A class, they would spend time get to becoming A class. They don't overspend the time because they got beats, they got tours to do, but they will spend all night long and they put everything and make sure they use the best people to get the best outcome. So they may be doing a song about the struggle of racism and struggle of madness and black madness, but the reality show is they'll still get the local white orchestra team. They still get the local white big time mixer involved in one of the project. Quality was important, delivery, and they knew that if they have Charlie mastering the track, it will get played on all radio stations. Yeah, so they said that, listen guys, we need to find the money and get Charlie to master it. But Chubbs can do it for £10. No, Chubbs can't do it, man. You know what I mean? It's got to be Charlie. Even though I don't understand, it's like an industry. It's like an industry secret stamp. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. This is what you need to understand. Some of the white guys, a few of the black brothers were mentored by the white sound engineers that watch them at work.
Yeah.
They give them the baton, you know, like the guys who watch Bruce Swedien, who was Michael Jackson's sonic anchorage, like with Quincy Jones and so forth. They watch these brothers. Yeah. So they, you know, when you think about it, LA and Babyface being trained by a white brother, and the white brother teach them how to understand sound, the mix and the thickness and so forth, and all the other things. So to let them loose.
Yeah.
And so then they teach the aspiring black brother about what happens sonically within the studio.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Right. And so you have a lot of black brothers now who are master sound engineers, but they learn from somebody, isn't it?
Well, you know, you have to get around
like
equipment.
The string masters, it's just like the black string markers. They learn from the white brothers, and then they get them, and then they mentor them and let them loose.
And then let loose.
Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of white string and horn arrangers. For instance, Larry Gold. Larry Gold from Philly does not play on a rock track. Seems to have the time for that. He plays in classical jazz and funk and all those things.
Yeah, man.
So that's where he gets his. He can do a rock track if he wanted, but he's not interested.
Yeah.
And he makes his living purely from doing R&B and soul stuff. He's a white brother.
Wow.
And okay, let's look at this here.
Before
we really get into the accomplishments quickly of Lawrence Mitchell, the son of Willie Mitchell, because they worked together. Before Mitchell passed away, his father, which is Papa Mitchell, he mentored his son and showed him how to mix. You know, as you give him the baton, you know, it's like as if you're going, son, here you are, and then you leave him to do it, and then come back and check. Right? Okay. These brothers develop a publishing house.
Yeah.
They're involved in soundtracks. They're involved. Remember now, they were doing mental and positive transformation in the sound. What they were doing. Okay, you have to understand it. They were becoming a strong spiritual, economic, and cultural force. They were so strong that Rod Stewart, Keith Richards, and all of them come to the studio to be baptized in that sound. You know what was coming out of the studio, to get into the flow of it. Because Willie Mitchell was a master mixer in the industry. He was one of the serious mixer.
And you know what?
The brother can get the brother can get sound out of
And this is the thing is, bro, mixing is an art, and too often because I remember coming through, and I'm a young bass player, so I'm a young bass player who had a talent for mixing, which I never knew, Got to the back of church now, and basically due to church politics, I'm not playing the bass guitar.
I can understand.
I'm saying, you know, politics. So I took out the desk, which everybody thought was the booby trap. But the thing is, learning on a studio master desk, you know, the one that's okay, back at church, big massive studio master desk, and having to make people sound different because they sound terrible on the stage, and you have to just tweak it up, turn so and so down, react to certain sounds. Yo, bass is booming too much, let's do this, let's do that. I had fun just knowing where, you know, having your fingers, and I just came over it. Now guys, you might think that, is Roger a master mixer? I don't have time to mix these days, but I can mix-ish. I can mix half decent. But the ability to mix, guys, it's a measurement of, it's understanding your numbers, the dBs, the decibels, understanding what tracks is. Also having the ability to understand the organic sound, you know what I'm saying? Because you've got to not only look at the lights and make sure everything's in the green and making sure nothing goes into the red. Sometimes going into the red gives you a sound that you acquire. So because of your desk, doesn't break the sound. It kind of makes the sound more warmer. So you know your desk and you pull things. People are thinking, okay, Rod, you're going too far here. But the reality show is a master mixer knows your tools, and you go in there with your tools. You come to their desk, and they know that channel is for the kick drum, and that's how the kick drum happens. If I turn that frequency.
Well, this is let's look at master mix and sound engineers like Michael Tasia from Philly.
Come on.
When we go to Philly and start dealing with those sound engineers, you're going into different dynamics. And he's very well known for working on Patti LaBelle and Teddy's stuff, and everybody that comes through town, you know, he's so good that he has his own master mixing studio at home. I mean, he's a powerhouse. When they get in there, he can take a track and make it sound extraordinary, average, above average, right? So you're right. That is a different category. If you think about the master mixing sound engineers in the West Coast and up in New York and so on, you just look at the credits and you know when this album is well mixed because so and so is on it.
Yo, the mixing is important. There's live mix and there's studio mix, and this is what we're just emphasizing, guys. Maybe the UK industry hasn't respected the mixing element. You can have all the vibes in the world, all the tunes you want. Listen to your mixer. Your mixer will make the track fire.
You know something. I never forget. We were listening to an album, and I said to Linton, Linton, it's too thin. And then he said, and he looked at it, he said, you're right, you know, it is too thin. It's not thickness and body. I won't tell you who produced it because it might discredit him. That's another story.
But producers do the biggest mistake for me. They mix their own production. You don't mix it, but no. Over. Even if you think you can mix, bring fresh ears to the project. Bring that fresh sharpness, them fresh ears that hear the track for the first time and go, right, this is what I hear. Oh, never heard that. Your wiser triangles are over there. You know the ones where you put the triangles on that side and then you have the guitar position over there. Listen, man, I've seen lead guitar on your left, on your right is the rhythm guitar, you know what I'm saying, central, and you have the drums. Some people like that live setup, so you have the hats and the stuff. Sorry, guys, I am not going to mixing masterclass.
That's not a problem because when we talk about Bo and his father, they were master sound engineers. So we're talking the right subject in any case because basically we're talking about landmark recording that has stand the test of time. Okay.
Go on.
They were prolific.
Go on.
They were prolific in terms of production. Right. Another thing too, they were innovative. Another thing too, They had a standard of excellence. And also they had a creative unit key element, creative units, in that they come in with the correct lyricists, they come in with the correct background vocalists and arrangers. So they work with a synergy, a powerful musical synergy. Understand, when a producer is a person that actually recruit the required musical elements to make the track timeless. I want you to listen to me very carefully. If it needs a string ranger, it gets a string ranger that is appropriate to the track. It can hear the vision of the producer and the arranger and bring it to reality, creating a powerful sonic tapestry landscape that seals it.
Right.
That when you hear it 20 years from now, it is vibrating with excitement and power. It's almost, Roger, you develop an exploratory strategy looking at the key elements, the creative engine that define the sound. Remember why Willie Mitchell was powerful. He had a white brother and his wife and sister doing the background vocals. So the background vocal was totally different from everywhere else.
Everywhere else. Yeah.
Yes, and then he had the jazz, the bottom.
Yeah.
Then he had the powerful, those brothers from the church and so on, with the organs and the bass line and so forth. And then he had the horn section coming in, the Memphis horn, white and black brothers working together.
Jeez.
So he had a sort of rawness, but the difference was it was a refined soul from Southern soul. Yeah. And so basically they attract. Oh, look! If you look at the numbers that they did during the 21st century, I mean, can you imagine Uptown Funk? You remember Uptown Funk?
Yeah.
Okay, let's give you the history of the Uptown Funk. You get it there. Read it. It's Uptown Funk, which was engineered by Lawrence Mitchell. That means Willie Mitchell's son. In 2014, topped the charts in 19 countries, including the US and the UK. Hold on a minute. Hold on tight.
Go on.
It did 11 plus platinum. That means it sold 11 million copies.
Okay.
And 5 times platinum in the UK and 18 times platinum in Australia. Wins the Grammy Award Record of the Year in 2016 at the 58th Grammy Award ceremony. The first time that the city of Memphis won this particular award.
Hold a second. You're talking about the Uptown Funk?
Yes, bro. Produced by a British sound engineer, Mark Robson.
Okay, Uptown Funk. You're talking about the one with Bruno Mars?
Yeah, Uptown Funk. Yes,
yeah.
Mars. Yes,
yeah.
Yes, bro. Yes.
You say Uptown Funk. I was thinking, what are you hearing about, bro?
Yeah. That was recorded at the same studio that Al Green was recorded. Yes, Al Green hits. And during that time, don't forget that during that time, prior to that, Al Green did 2 Blue Notes records, albums with Willie Mitchell before Willie Mitchell actually stopped working with Al Green. Yeah. But they come back together and did 2 very interesting Blue Note albums. Yeah,
Whoa,
and that look, and also he did another one with John Mayer called Continuum, 2006 studio album, which also won a Grammy Award as well, bro.
No way.
Both the father and the son, but Willie Mitchell and his father did the horn arrangements for track 12 on the album. I'm gonna find another you. And remember, the album won a Grammy Award at the 49th Grammy Award annual event for Best Pop Vocal Album.
Wow.
So this is just to show you the diversity of the people he worked with. I mean, Rob Stewart has come to the studio, right? I mean, Snoop Doggy Dogg has come to the studio. You know, I mean, a lot of people, and Terrence Howard, the list is go, and some of these people are quite sizable, big recording acts, you know. Melissa Etheridge. Such a diverse people, and Brother Bo has worked with them, and as recently, he's won 2 consecutive Grammy Awards for blues stuff as well, contemporary blues. So the man is diverse in terms of his
genres and different.
He's worked with contemporary blues artists.
Yeah. That's big.
Okay, so I'm trying to explain to people that the power of mentoring and passing knowledge.
Yeah, man. You call it so much creative baton change, and I think that's a major thing.
My language. No, you get creative
baton change, because that's one of the biggest Achilles heel in the UK. Is that I do believe a generation that did amazing things have not creatively handed over to the next generation, whether it's their children or the family.
They have several of the fathers I know have done that to their children. They have, but the only problem is that we at the moment, you and I, we have to do a lot of data gathering. That's what you're doing, which is vitally important. That you can actually give a sonic database. That is important, because I'll always have to keep on reminding people that Britain is the 3rd largest music market.
Okay, yeah.
The question we have here, what sort of share people of color and blacks have in this equation? Now, the third biggest market, you got to think about it. We're talking about billions and billions of pounds in gross earning. And on top of that, Roger, Britain has the 3rd biggest creative industry in the world, one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Where are we getting the cuts here? I mean,
we have been part of the most successful artists in the UK, and I say we, especially as an Afro-Caribbean community, in terms of production, in terms of investment. Where has that money gone when it comes to our community? Where has that money gone? Has it really come into our community? And here's a question that people have to realize, is that basically, you know, everybody's trying to jump on the stage. What we have to show is we need people being taking care of our due diligence for our people, to make sure that the incomes, that strategies, is okay selling 1 million records. If you sell 1 million records and you don't make the right investments, or you don't make sure that you own enough that it comes into the community, it could be Charlie across the road, but as long as it comes in the community, I'm good, man.
Well, yes. I mean, when you have cultural icons like Quincy Jones is constantly pouring into his black brothers, you know, they all come to him for eldership and instruction. I mean, if you sit down with Quincy Jones for 1 hour, when you come out of there, you're so impacted that you said, you know, I've just sit down with Master Q. All right. What do you do with a gentleman who has about 50 to 60 years in the music? Well, think about it sonically speaking, the amount of soundtracks, albums, and musicians he's worked with, and sound engineers. Remember, Quincy Jones has worked with some of the top sonic masters.
Yeah, man.
So when he's downloading into you, he's downloading decades of creative impact. So when I was talking to Linton, I realized he was downloading to me sonically a lot of years.
Yeah.
Right? Considering the level of that's why it was difficult for him sometimes to work within the gospel industry, because he's been sonically expanded.
Okay, cool. Got you.
Yeah. It's like somebody trying to say, "Oh, I'm great," and so on, and then he's looking at him and said, "Great about what?"
Yeah. I
don't want to be critical.
Yeah.
That's why I keep my mouth. I just talk what I need to say. But
if you're sonically exposed to a greater thing, and that's you stop.
I mean, what do you do? What do you do when you come to a conference at the art school and you go into the Cultural Arts Centre in Jamaica, and then you sit down there having about an hour listening to a Roberta Flack?
Mm-hmm. And you come back to another place and you're seeing substandard singing, and then people getting gassed over substandardness. And I think that's something we need to step up in the gospel industry. I do feel that we have celebrated mediocrity too often over the past 10 years, and it has changed the level of the UK gospel industry. And if you feel offended by that statement, the reality is, how many artists have sang in America since Raymond & Co, who's gone over there? And it shows you that if you're sonically correct, the Americans will listen to you, but if you're sonically incorrect, they have too many technically gifted artists in that continent to even come in to deal with you.
Yeah, well, that's right, because when you've gone through a production run with the likes of Campbell and various different, we could give an example of many of the people who worked together with Kurt Franklin and so forth. Mm-hmm. They working with the best so often that they can actually tell by just the first note whether if you're extraordinary or not. A couple of our brothers are working over there. We can mention a few, but having said that, we are just now, you and I, just begin to document some of the key. I mean, I never forget what Elliot Brown said to me. He said, Ray Prince is a top-end musician, and he said that he's based that on what his brother did and how his younger brother, as the late Trevor Prince, and what Ray Prince is doing. And Ray Prince made it quite clear, I'm following the creative baton of my brother. I can tell because when I listen to what he's doing now, I never heard such rift and dynamic sound until when I went to Birmingham. I said, now we're talking. Now we're sonically talking.
Yeah, man.
Now, when a guy can actually do an underground track, and then all of a sudden they go into classic jazz riff, and I said, hold on a minute. And if I didn't actually see them in person, I would have thought it was one of the brothers in the West Coast and so on, or New York, doing their riff. You talk about innovation, and when I watch him on the drum, he's highly technical. And remember, this is what we need to remember too. During the height of Willie Mitchell production, the gentleman who was playing on the drum was the late Al Jackson. It was the technical drummer for Booker T and the MGs at Stax.
Okay.
So Al Jackson had played behind Rod Stewart and all these different people. I mean, and with Al Jackson, Al Jackson is a jazz trained drummer.
And he got that jazz.
He's got those foot and those controls. He can go from a slow jamming track to a high tempo, and he can go into. Very few people can do it. One legendary drummer that I can do that was the Palmer of the New Orleans sound.
Okay.
The brother who was the first drummer on the Mission Impossible soundtrack franchise. So when I mention to people about sonically speaking, you and I have listened to so much masterpieces that somebody come in and say, we're doing, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I have to measure you up. I can't accept mediocre. I have to measure you based on
what class? Yeah, what class?
What do you want me to do? It's like, for instance, I tell you, he's a serious drummer. and I'm proud of it, is who you've worked with, Jonathan Rodney.
Oh, yeah.
He's a serious drummer.
Yeah.
He's a literally technocrat. I mean, he can do straight rock, and he can do some slow jams, funk grooves. That is just.
I know. I totally agree. I think that I think, you know, and this is what we're saying, people, in terms of when we look at Memphis, and we saying, you know, we're saying in Memphis now we go, we've got the father and son, and you got them working with absolutely ridiculous level drummers, ridiculous level musicians. You have a number of talented guys, you know what I mean, that he's working with. It's ridiculous.
Before Willie Mitchell died, Keith Richard went to the studio and produced the gold album Talk Is Cheap on Virgin Records 1989, and it was gold certified. He literally come up there and did one solo album on his own, and then he got it baptized in the Memphis sound according to Willie Mitchell. And these guys are not going to come up to a studio if it wasn't really grooving at a different level.
Yeah.
The amount of people that has actually come through the Memphis studio, that studio, is all from all different musical genres.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's from all musical. Al Green, not so much Al Green as such, but Willie Mitchell wasn't a master of just soul music. He could understand rock and pop. Pop, sudden music. He was, and to think about that, this brother, even before he died, he was still an extraordinary mixer. And he taught his son how to master the mixing table or the sound.
And as he said, the rest is history and current. The rest is and current history as well, or current news, or present.
It's current history. We're talking about things.
I mean,
very recently, 2014, 2006. Recently, can you imagine? You actually engineered one of the biggest selling song of the year, a global sales. It's ridiculous. Can you imagine 11 million copies in the United States alone, and 5 times platinum in the UK, and number one in 19 music markets.
And that's what I'm saying, people. You know,
come on.
Like these are Memphis, icons of Memphis. And icons are not just people that
that's right
that hit the stages, the singers, the Al Greens, the drummers, or the musicians. The mixers have made the are also icons. And I think that the question is, in the UK we have got icons in the mixing trade, but do we treat them like icons at all? Do we talk about them? Do we seek them out? Do we develop them in our industry? Or do we say we're only looking for artists and musicians? Myself and Kevin, we work with GMIA. Are we always looking at the musicians and the singers? Aren't we looking out for mixers? Aren't we looking out for masterers? With these key components that take sound to a level which changes lives. That's effectively, and we're seeing now with the Mitchell family, that they have been part of the black sound, the white sound. You know what I'm saying? It's a white sound, the white performed music, because a lot of it's based off black sounds. But anyway,
yes, of course,
you know what I'm
generally
saying?
most of the time. Anyway.
Yeah. So they've just carried on doing what they're doing, and guys, I said that you guys are the thing, and so we're gonna come over here. Cliff Richards comes over there, does his thing. The likes of Bruno Mars, yes, he might be a little
Tom Jones has been through that studio too.
Oh
Tom
yeah,
Jones.
that is no surprise. Tom Jones is straight up. Him love him chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you know,
he loves his chocolate everywhere. He can get a piece of that groove. Yes.
Him, Eric Clapton, all of them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There were Milky Way boys, there's Milky Bar kids when they were younger. Then they yam one piece of good old fashioned dairy milk chocolate, and I thought, but we can't go and Boneville. You know what I mean?
It changed your perspective musically.
Yeah.
Oh, listen to this. It's the Willie Mitchell studio, which is also known as Royal Studio, is one of the oldest continually recording studios in the world operating in terms of operation.
Still operating now?
Yeah, it started operating from 1956. You know.
Woo! That's a year. That's a year after my dad was born.
It's a year older than me, so that means it's been in operation for nearly 66 years,
bro. Yeah, my dad was born 55, man. My mom and dad. So
that's right. Your daddy beat me by 2 years. Yeah,
2 years. This is it, man. Wow, that is mad.
What?
That is a long time, bro. Long time.
Aye. So how many things we have here in terms of blacks at that creative level that is owned by the children?
Now, usually the children sell it off as soon as they're dead. That's what usually happens. You know what I mean? So a bit of a shout out to people. What happens when the forefathers die, that they don't really sell off their assets and just start again in life, and you just end up being a continual cycle. We need to build upon.
You still become servant of the system.
Yeah, we need to build upon the foundation that is laid.
You know, my brother said to me, I talked to him earlier, and he said, and a few people said, what the COVID pandemic has done is really change the dynamics of what we can do as people, because the real creatives now really control it. There's only one challenge we have, is the TikTok and so on, which these organizations can actually prostitute us. We have to really control them, because I don't like the idea of getting a few sample sound and then you getting a big amount, and then we get in. I remember when Barry White said, I'm watching this with great keen, because I don't want my music to be prostituted and I'm getting pennies on the dollars. No.
Yeah,
I created it, so I think I need to get a better cut. But
that's a whole other subject.
That's a whole other discussion.
It's just totally disgusting. But listen, Kev, we have to come down now. Still, yeah. But that was a taster. Now, this is the reality of the show, is, guys. There's way more information on the icons of Memphis, and that is in the. You know what I'm saying? That was in the book. The book itself on Amazon, by Kevin. If you put in Kevin Tomlin in the search in Amazon, you're gonna see 3 books come up, of which one is the icons of Memphis. Yeah, do get that book. Do support Kevin Tomlin out there still, guys. Not only support, there's information in there that can make you more knowledge in the history of black music in America, and I believe Kevin is working on other books right now, so we need to release him and to get this information down and get this sound information down and take it from there, man. But guys, I have to close off this section of the show. Kevin, thanks for jumping on. It's the first time we've done a live one for absolutely ages. You know what I mean? Usually we do pre-records out there, so you know, but we don't really we just talk, man. We don't really stop and record and edit anyway. Still, yeah. So this is how we do, and if we need to extra. But thanks again for your time, brother. Guys, do support what he's doing out there. Still, yeah. If you want more information, go to the Icons of Memphis book. Go to that right now, written by Kevin Tomlin. Just Google search that and you'll find it straight up there still. Anyway, Kev. Yeah, man. But listen, guys, Kev, thanks again, my brother. I'm gonna hit out some Marvin Sapp. You know how it goes, bro.
Yes, one of our serious brothers there.
Oh, more than serious, bro. More than serious, man. But listen, Kevin, thanks for jumping on. Nothing but love. We'll catch you very soon. Have we got another part to this, Memphis? Is there somebody else? Is there another icon in there? Oh no! Our cause a storm right now. Is there another icon to talk about?
We have Isaac Hayes and
Isaac
Hayes and Porter Production.
Okay, right, guys. We're gonna do. Sorry, I got too excited there. Isaac Hayes, man. You know what I'm saying, guys.
Isaac Hayes and David Porter Production.
What's it? Isaac Hayes. Didn't he do
Shaft, brother.
I was supposed to say Shaft. I was gonna say, is it that brother with the bald head?
It's the same brother. Yes.
Yo, the brother with the deep voice.
Yes, and you know the yes.
Yeah, man. It'll go on stage with no. It go on stage with no top, you know, no top. I go on stage and then do that Shaft thing, you know, and I'm like, who is this dude? It is absolutely. Who is this brave dude, man? Feel no way. But all right, bro, Shaft. Okay, let's do some stuff. Isaac Hayes, absolutely icon. We'll get to Isaac Hayes next one. Yeah. Bring that out, bro. Bring that out, man. Bring that out. Ready for the next one. Yeah, man. But
peace and love, bro.
All right, then, bro. Blessings, my brother. Let me lick out some Marvin Sapp.
Hey, this is your Bishop from Rock Solid. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for clicking and subscribing and also sending these videos to other people as well. We are so hungry to get your support. So remember, check us out on our website, and also check us out on Insta and wherever you want to find us on Spotify. You can play us all day as well. And just make sure that you are supporting this channel, that we are developing our agenda towards music of black origin, and that is gospel music with a message. So please walk with us on this journey. Bye now.